Welcome back to the In the Money podcast for KeenelandSelect.com. And we feel underworked this week with out all the Breeders' Cup races. Tom Leach along with Jim Goodman, Keeneland's director of simulcasting and mutuals. And what a wonderful Breeders' Cup weekend it was. And now we're back to just a regular Saturday with a couple of good graded stakes. And Jim will start up in New York with the Grade 3 Long Island Handicap for fillies and mares 3 and up, going 1.5 miles on the turf. We got 3 Chad Browns in here and a Graham Motion. So who'd you go with?
Seems like we always got 3 Chad Browns in every turf race that's ever run in New York. And I'm going to take one of the Chad Browns, who lost to one of the Chad Browns last time out. I'm going to take Danza Cavallo, who ran a very good second to Stephanie's Kitten, who came back and won the filly and mare turf the other day here at Keeneland. Then got sold for $2.8 million and on our way to Japan from the Ramseys. So Danza Cavallo led that race all the way around, got caught at the wire by Stephanie's Kitten, and soft turf ran really well for Chad, and Stephanie's Kitten just ran her down the stretch. So I think Danza Cavallo off that race sets up really well to possibly take them wire to wire in a 1.5 mile stretch out. Walk Close, the 10 horse for Christophe Clement, won the Grade 3 Modesty to Arlington. Been off since July, but he gets them ready off a layoff very easily. And I hope I can say the name of this. I hate to pick horses that I can't pronounce, but it's the 8 horse for Mutandis, the Irish horse. I think that's a shot.
Pretty close.
Is that pretty close? Okay. She ran third in the same race out of Stephanie's Kitten and Danza Cavallo, and that's her first North American start with a 91 buyer, so she's got every right to move forward. And the Euros seem to do well this time of year, and I'm going to take her to round out the trifecta. Goldie Esponi, the one, is the other horse that I like. She must be better than the effort in the Glen Falls. I loved her that day, and she just didn't run a step. And they gave her a little time off. She's been off a couple months since that, and if you take that race and draw a line through it, she fits well here. She's going to contest the pace, looks like, with Danza Cavallo, so that might be interesting, might set up for Walk Close to come from off the pace a little bit. But I'm going with Danza Cavallo off the last race, the Flower Bowl.
I am going to Rosalind, the other Chad Brown, off the big buyer improvement last time. And she's never been 1.5 miles, but looking at pedigree, I'm thinking, I think she's by Broken Vow out of a theatrical mare. I'm thinking that she might love it, and it is second off the layoff, and so improved in the first out, might improve more in the second off the layoff. So I'm going to try Rosalind. I think I'll get a little bit of a price there. I'm going to use her with the other 2 Chad Browns, Goldie Esponi and Danza Cavallo, and also Interrupted, just because Graham Motion's always so good in these marathon races. We see it here at Keeneland every spring and fall. Churchill Downs, we're going to take a look at their feature, plus the late pick 4, since there's not a whole lot else to look at around the country. And, Jim, the 10th race is the Grade 2 Chilukki. Fillies and mares there as well, 3 and up. They're going a flat mile. I ended up going to Keen Pauline, 1 of 2 in here for Dale Romans. She's dropping out of Grade 1 company. She's working well, and if you look at the race on January 16th at a flat mile down at Gulfstream, she was right off the pace, and I think that running style will suit her well here. She might even be on the lead in this spot. She'll have to improve a little bit off everything but her Black-Eyed Susan, but I think she could jump up and get this with the way the race sets up. I'm going to use her stablemate Bird at the wire with her. The 2 Chocolate, who I took in the Raven Run, I'll give her another shot. The 4 Spelling Again, I like as well. And Keen Pauline's my pick for the wager. I wrote on the website I'd take a exacta box of those 4 horses rather than keying on any one. How about you?
I'm right with you, but I wound up on the Brad Cox horse, Spelling Again. She ran really well in the TCA here. She only got beat by 2 lengths to Fear Ready, who ran in the Breeders' Cup, and Hey Kitty Kitty, who came back and won, and Judy the Beauty. So there's no disgrace in finding 4th place behind those 3, and I don't think there's anything like that in here. And I think she's 1 for 1 in Churchill. I think it sets up well for her, and Bridge Mahan gets her back, who rode her at Churchill in her victory there. So Spelling Again, the 4 is my choice. Gold Medal Dancer, because of back class, may be able to overcome the 5-month layoff, but I think she might be a little short. She did run in 2 Grade 1s this spring. And Keen Pauline, the 7, would be my 3rd choice. Won the Black-Eyed Susan at Pimlico. Disappointed in the Grade 1 Cotillion, but she is dropping in class. And so I can make a case for the same horses that you made, but I'm going to take Spelling Again, the 4 on top.
We're going to take a look at the late pick 4 as well. It starts in the 8th race. How did you structure your ticket?
Well, I didn't find a single in the sequence, so I'm kind of spreading out, spending $72 here. So in the first race, I would take Giroux on Charm, the 1 horse the 7 Masoma, who we were really tipped on here at Keeneland on October the 8th. The horse had a lot of, I think the horse was like 10-1 morning line and went off at 2-1. Ran okay, but might have needed the race a little bit. Had been off for 11 months. So Masoma for Gary Sims, the 7, the 8 Chivalrous, and the 9 Riyadh. So I go 1, 7, 8, 9. Ninth race, I go Candy Crush, the 2, Molly's Honor, the 3, 1 Liz, the 7 for Catalano, and Taylor Lane, the 10, throwing in because I'm not going to let Giroux knock me out with another pick 4. In the Chilukki, I would use the 3 horses I talked about, the 4 Spelling Again, the 6 Gold Medal Dancer, and the 7 Keen Pauline. And in the nightcap, I would use Aloha Rose, the 4, Fervent, the 7, and the 10 Lady Molly for Francisco Torres, who might just be able to get her out of the gate and steal it, dropping from a 15,000 down to 7,500. So 1, 7, 8, 9 with 2, 3, 7, 10 with 4, 6, 7 with 4, 7, 10 for $72.
I am taking the Masoma horse, the first leg, and going to single there because I got that same steam that you did and thought ran like a horse that needed the race, and so I'm going to think that this one bounces back and gets the money in the second off the layoff. So then I'm going to take Candy Crushers, who I like, in the 9th. I'm also going to use the 1, 7, and 8. So 7 with 1, 2, 7, 8 with the 4 I mentioned in the feature, 1, 2, 4, 7. And then in the last race, I'm going to use 2, 4, 7, and 12. Kate and Ab's Reward, the 12's the one I liked a little bit, but not a real strong opinion. So I'm going to use 4 in there. So it's 1 by 4 by 4 by 4 for me in the late pick 4 at Churchill. Keep your Keeneland Select account fully funded so you can take advantage of some great opportunities still left this year, the month of November, with some great racing at Churchill and up in New York, culminating with a spectacular card that always comes up on Thanksgiving weekend at both of those venues and out in California as well. And for Jim Goodman, I'm Tom Leach. This is the In the Money Podcast for KeenelandSelect.com.